Hey, happy people. Thank you for tuning in to another live stream broadcast brought to you by the Eastwood Company and me at Middle Tennessee Paintucation Studios here. The live stream broadcast that we're doing, I'm really digging, taking advantage of the beautiful technology that is before us, the internet. We are live, just like the Grammy Awards, just like Dancing with the Stars, except for I don't have the moves. But we're able to bring you into my shop. We're able to do these wonderful things via the internet and via the forward thinkingness, if that's even a word, of the Eastwood Company. So thanks to those guys and kudos. We've done several of these in the past, and we're going to keep on doing them. And at some point, we're going to do a first. We're going to broadcast live in the paint booth. I'm in the process of building my paint booth, and we're going to bring you into the world that you can't normally ever have access to. So lots of exciting stuff coming up with Eastwood, so keep tuned. And we're also going to make these more available and broadcast out in different ways, and you can always look back, go back to the Eastwood Company, to the website, and you can look at these on eastwoodtv.com. Different outlets will be able to rebroadcast these live streams. If you missed it today, you can watch it tomorrow. What we're going to be talking about today is Clearcoat, fixing delaminated or flaking Clearcoat and blending Clearcoat. And the interesting thing about what I'm going to show you today is that you can't fix flaking Clearcoat and you can't blend Clearcoat, but we're going to show you how to do both of those things because there are rare exceptions in this technology. Now, why does Clearcoat flake? Well, why does it flake? It's basically because of sun damage. The same reason that General Motors thought it was a really good idea to put an 8.5-inch ring gear in a 300 horsepower Camaro is the reason that Clearcoat flakes off. And let me explain that. They engineered these vehicles up to minimum tolerances before catastrophic failure. What that means is they've calculated how much power that car is going to put down and the weird circumstances to where if it'll hold together until the warranty's gone. And the same thing with paint. We learned this in all the paint training schools that I've been going to, is they have enough paint on there to where they don't spend too much money on paint and they get it painted to where it'll come out of warranty. Sorry if the car manufacturer guys are watching this and you're getting mad at me saying this, but let's face it, they're producing hundreds of thousands of these vehicles. Cost control is a very important factor of vehicle production. So they put enough clear coat on top of the panel to let it look really good in most of the circumstances until it's out of warranty, and then it's anybody's guess. So basically it's minimum tolerances. Again, they got just enough clear on there to let it look good. And eventually, like as in this hood right here, eventually it's going to fail. Now, it makes sense that you should be able to put the clear back on if it falls off. If you can see this, I think we can give you a pretty good look at this, but you can see this edge right here to where there's clear coat, excuse me, and there's no clear coat. So that's just a base coat. Here's the clear coat. It's a two-step process. So why wouldn't we be able to put the clear back on? It makes perfect sense to be able to do that. Well, here's the problem. All of this panel out here has now been exposed to sun damage, to UV exposure, to contamination, to debris. You can even see it's further deteriorating right here. This is not outfitted with any UV screeners. All of the strength in your base coat, clear coat system, whether it's OE, whether it's a custom shop, or whether you're doing it in your driveway, all of the strength in the panel, in the finish, is in the clear coat. It's all in that tiny infinitesimal layer of clear coat. So there's no UV screeners in the base coat. There's no UV screeners in primer. It's all in the clear coat. So it makes sense also that once the clear is gone, this is very susceptible to sun damage, mostly sun damage, environmental. It basically rusts. Rusts is deterioration of the top. It's an oxygenating chemical reaction between the air and the substrate. So essentially it's chalking up, it's deteriorating. You put the clear coat back on it, it's going to fall right back off again. Sorry, it just is. It's going to flake. So you might be asking yourself, well, can I sand it and then put the clear coat back on it? Well, no, you can't, because you're going to see the sanding scratches and the prep marks on that panel once you put the clear coat back in it. And here's something I wanted to show you as well. This is Eastwood's pre-painting prep, and this is a solvent spray. And I'm just going to kind of hose that down again. Pre is really good for wet checking panels, but you can see here, well, it's kind of getting gnarly a little bit, but you can see here that the color, pardon me, the color comes back. Now you can't tell the difference between the clear coat and the base coat. So you might think to yourself, well, let me give it a shot of that. Let me give it a temporary fix, but it's still, guys, it's just not going to work. It's not going to hold up for you, and you're going to end up disappointed in the repair. So basically, in a situation like this, the fix for it is to sand it down, reprime it if there's flaws in it, block it down again, and apply the color and the clear. There's just no two ways about it. However, there are circumstances in which you can fix flaking clear coat, and I'm going to show you. Let's come over here to Jaded. If you guys have been paying attention, this Mustang is completely done from the bare steel up, all with Eastwood materials, from the one-to-one epoxy to the high-build poly primers, all the Eastwood fillers. And this thing debuted in the 2012 SEMA show, and it's been shot for magazines. It's been on TV. I'm so proud of this car and so proud of the way it still looks. There's a flaw. Ooh. Nobody's perfect, guys. This thing was done on show levels, but there's a flaw. If you can see this right here, Ken, can you see that? I think camera guy Ken can see that. Basically what happened is that my prep was not great on the side of this hood. So what's happening is the clear coat is flaking off of here. So we're going to show you how to fix this and how to band-aid that and make it a nice acceptable repair that you guys can live with and won't be noticed by show judges. Now let's talk about materials. Obviously, we're going to use a clear coat. We're not going to use a lacquer clear coat. We want a good strong clear coat. That car was shot with the 2-to-1 European clear and a catalyst. So we're using a 2K clear, but we're not going to use a conventional clear coat setup. We're going to use 2K Aero-Spray. I am so stoked about this product, not just because I'm wearing an Eastwood badge now, but 2K Aero-Spray is the answer to a lot of really difficult questions in the sense that it is a true 2K. You've got a membrane on the bottom that you break. It mixes inside, so it's professional coating in a rattle can, and that's what we're going to show you how to use. They also have just come out with it in matte. Now, there's a lot of accents. You can't see it because the car's bagged, but there's a lot of accents. The whole chassis, everything underneath, all the engine components, down bars, everything like that is coated in Eastwood's hot rod flat clear. This is an exact match to that. So now you've got 2K Aero-Spray with the matte clear as well. So this is what we're going to be using to repair the side of the hood on Jaded. Now, safety is an issue, even more so because we're dealing with a 2K component, which means there's a catalyst in it, a hardener in it. The hardener's the bad stuff, guys. You want to protect yourself. Safety glasses, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's not so necessary with this, but you want to protect yourself. Be sensible, use common sense. This, not a paint mask. This is a dust mask. It's a good dust mask, not a paint mask. This is a paint mask. Look, look at the crust in here. This thing is obviously, the pre-filters are shot. And, you know, this is not something that I am ever going to trust with active paint. The reason is this cartridge here, this is an active charcoal cartridge. And once you break the seal on the bag, you've got 24 hours where that active charcoal will effectively filter out the bad stuff from this. After 24 hours, it's a really good dust mask. That's it. It's not going to protect you. So what we're going to use is this guy, which I just broke the seal on. You can get these at Eastwood. And this is a good current active charcoal spray mask that was within the shelf life period. So be aware, be self-aware of this stuff. Always, you know, it's all just common sense. Guys, don't hurt yourselves doing this stuff. I hate to stand on a soapbox and preach, but, you know, it's that important. I've had friends in the industry that had to change their job because they become sensitized to ISOs, and I just want you guys to be able to do this down the road. And there's some other safety stuff involved, but let's talk about our materials here. Here's some stuff you're going to need. A tack rag. It's common practice in the paint world. Tack rag gets the contamination off the surface. Since this flaking, we don't want to block it down. We just want to hide that. We want to disguise it. we want to disguise that flaking part. So we're not going to be using sandpaper. We're not scuffing it down because I don't want to mar the surface of my base color, just like I told you I didn't want to do on that hood. So we're going to scuff it with a pad. Now, Eastwood sells several different pads. This is gnarly. This will scale rust. This is really, really aggressive. Not something you want to use paint prep. Definitely a place for that in the shop, but not for paint prep. The red guys, well, they're in between the gray and the green. It's a nice pad. It'll last forever. Still, a little too harsh, a little too aggressive for paint prep. The gray, this is what we're going to use for paint prep. Now, before we do anything, what I'm going to do is clean it. It helps to clean your surface, and you need to clean your surface. And by the way, you got to clean your surface. So we're going to do a two-step cleaning, one with an organic cleaner, and step two with a solvent cleaner, with the pre-painting prep. Now what I'm doing is just giving this a shot here. This is just a glass cleaner. I like it because it's got a little bit of alcohol in it and it cleans the organic debris out, like Armorall and tire dressings and stuff and engine oil and stuff that might be hiding in those crevices. So a little bit of a glass cleaner is step one. And I'm not going to spritz this on the hood. I'm just going to spritz it on my rag just a little bit. A little bit of cleaner on there, and there. And now, I'm sure that my repair is going to have a nice, happy home for the clear coat that we're going to put on it. Now, obviously, I haven't masked this because I wanted to show you a couple of techniques. And when you're doing an edge like this, here's what you want to take advantage of. You want to take advantage of these peaked edges. You want to roll your tape off of these edges, but not before you do your surface prep. So I'm going to take this gray pad, and always, you don't want to isolate your repair right next to it. You want to go about an inch on either side. So I'm taking my gray pad, and I'm gently, super gently, scuffing on my flawed areas there. And now, I'm going to wipe the sanding dust off. And now we're ready to mask. When I talk about back taping in the Paint Education DVDs, this is what I'm talking about. If you master this technique, there's a lot of tricks you can pull, guys. There's a lot of really good techniques, but this is basically back masking. And since this is dubious, the adhesion anyways, I'm going to show you how to do something interesting here. This is called wetting the tape, W-H-E-T, W-H-E-T, wetting the tape. Basically what I'm doing, I run it down my pant leg, and it mutes the power of the solvent and the adhesive. So now what I'm doing, I'm rolling the tape back on that edge. And I'm going to do the same thing on the top. I'm wetting the tape. That way, if this is fresh paint and I'm doing a repair within a critical window, I'm not going to get myself into trouble. And now what I can do is I can fine-tune the way I've got that rolled on the edge with another piece of tape up on top. And I'm tacking it down a little bit there. And I'm prepped to about here. I can see it. I don't know if you can, but I'm prepped just past it. This is going to take a tiny, tiny bit of clear coat, but it's going to give us a nice effective repair. So now, obviously, I still have some exposed panel here and under the bottom. So we'll go to our masking cart. When you're using a 2K clear, that overspray is going to settle and it's going to lock in. So, as you can see, I've got the car bagged. Show them a little more of the car, Ken. Yeah, exactly. I've got the car bagged. I don't want any of this overspray dust on any of the other paint because it'll break your heart when you go to polish the car. And so if you leave it too long, sometimes it's really, really difficult to get off. So I bagged the rest of the car, under the hood, everything. Now there are professional body shop products and rolls of plastic that that you can buy in a bunch of different outlets. Sometimes those materials are expensive. What I'm going to show you here is not. Look at the price. 5 for $5. 5 for $5. These are drop cloths. They're 9 feet by 12 feet. I'm using 3 of them on this car. So what? It was $5 to ensure that I don't have overspray on the rest of the car. That's money well spent. We're not here to take your money. Eastwood wants to sell you stuff that's going to make your job better, to make your life easier. That's what it's all about. You know, yes, we've got stuff for sale, but it's not all about hammering you for bucks. It's about showing you how to do the job right and to do it with a budget in mind. So stuff like that can go a long ways in getting you the results that you want on a realistic budget. Now, here's another way to utilize back taping. I can see I'm hazy until there, and I'm going to roll it back there. And I'll cover my edge there, pin it down so it doesn't fly up. These edges, at least with a big pneumatic gun, sometimes those edges will come up and flop into your paint. It's bad. It's not good. That's a 3 martini night after that happens. And we don't want that. Or a 12 Miller Lite night, because you got to start all over again if that happens. So basically, you see the tiny, tiny, tiny repair area that we've got, which makes 2K Aero-Spray make even more sense here. And they're now introducing colors, primer surfacers, epoxies, all kinds of stuff in the 2K Aeros. It just makes sense. It's a beautiful product. So now what we're going to do is actually do the repair. Now here's something cool. This is the 2K Aero-Spray. Now we're going to show you a fender that I shot yesterday afternoon with this same can. Now you know as well as I do that when you mix paint or anything catalyzed in a conventional gun, you got 45 minutes to an hour, maybe a little bit more than that for a pot life, which is the amount of time that it can stay in the cup before it starts to kick. Your pot life is 45 minutes-ish on Clearcoat, and it's real tight, guys. You can throw it in the fridge if you want to and extend it a little bit, but then you start messing with temperatures, things like that. This has a 48-hour pot life. It's beautiful. So I can safely do a Clearcoat repair on here with the same can of clear that I shot with yesterday, 24 hours ago. I've got another day in this can. So it's a beautiful product. And I'm here to tell you, I like the Eastwood stuff, but I'm not trying to snow anybody. If I'm going to put it on this car, this is my baby. This is my show car. If I wasn't confident and secure that this was an effective repair, we would not be having this conversation right now. I'd be showing you how to do a conventional repair. So this, I feel good enough about it to tell you guys that it's a great product for this. So now, I'm going to run back here and get my paint mask. And I don't know. What? Okay, well, you know, I don't know about you guys. We're having a moment here, sorry. I have reached an age to where I need reading glasses. So, you know, there's not much overspray here, but I want to see what I'm doing. So when I throw my mask on here, I'm going to throw my reading glasses on. No. It's like a depends moment. Not proud, but it happens, so whatever, get used to it. If you guys are long in the tooth and salt and pepper haired like me, it's coming. So. Can you hear me, Ken? Nah, okay, well, it doesn't matter. So, we're prepped. I'm going to put my glass on so I can see. And now,